Hello and welcome. Today we will be repainting this little flower here because there were a few things that I wanted to tweak and try. So we'll be doing it on the exact same paper with the exact same paint. Let's see what we can learn today. Because I have a very limited amount of time today to do anything before I have to leave again, trying to get a video out to you guys and want to figure this out. I traced the reference picture, so on this one I drew it and it ended up a lot smaller. I discovered after I traced this one on it to it, so it'll be different. I mean, they'll kind of look different compared to side by side, but hopefully I can figure out what I'm hoping to figure out here with this. One of the main things I'm hoping to figure out is the difference on this particular paper, which is the Etcher 100% Cotton Sketchbook. On the background, I want to see on the first painting I did, this is kind of a roundabout way of getting to the point here, but the first painting I did, I wet the entire background, and I'll link that video in the corner for you guys to check out in case you missed that one first. Anyway, I wet the entire background and then I put the green down on it, and it did fade out, of course, as they do when you put water on the background, so that happens, that's normal. However, I wanted to see if I could keep a little bit more of the differentiation of color in the background because I did put down several different colors in that first flower. And I'm doing the same thing here, but on dry paper, completely dry paper. So I am finding out if it works more like I was hoping it would in my mind. I had this picture in my mind and I needed my painting to work that way. So we're trying it on dry paper. Obviously, more challenging because you have to watch out for the hard edges, or you just embrace the hard edges, one or the other. But in this case, I was trying to avoid the hard edges on that background. So I was always trying to keep my leading edge wet enough that it wouldn't harden. I did get a little bit of a hard edge above the cone, part of the flower, but I was able to cover that up, I think, for the most part with an intentional bloom later. So that was nice. And then I was trying to keep the color a little bit darker around the flower this time, so that I had a little more contrast between the background and the yellow of the petals. And you can see just previously, I was still chatting away there, but I did drop some water and some yellow onto, actually it was just watery yellow onto the background, trying to get in some really fun blooms. Now this photo is a reference from Pixabay, and if I remember, I'll link it down below. But if you don't see it down below for some reason, I just went to Pixabay and searched yellow flowers, or yellow flower, something like that, and I got all of these beautiful reference photos available, and this was one of them. And I just like the shape of this flower, how it kind of droops down, how it's so bright yellow and gorgeous. I knew the middle cone part could be a challenge, trying to get that texture in there, but I was up for the challenge. So this is why I originally chose this one. You'll see the other photographs that I saved to my computer to paint later, or they were also options for the yellow flower art challenge, which that was the last video, which I've already linked in the corner for you. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of artists out there that have participated in that, and again, that was last Friday's video, but check all those out if you're interested in a bunch of yellow flowers. My point was, if you want to paint this flower also, the reference photo is for free use, so copyright free, go for it, have fun with it. I would like to know how you do your cone part of the flower. I'm sure there's a lot of different methods out there. Would love to hear them in the comments below if you have any ideas. So I just dotted on colors basically, and then I did the whole yellow background, so the lightest color in the background, and then dotting on progressively darker and darker colors for the little texture in that cone part. So that was kind of interesting. I don't know. I think it turned out okay. I don't really like the middle part between the cone and the flower, but I explain a little more of that later. So anyway, let's do a quick update on the HIMI MIYA Use It Up challenge. So far, we have gone 3.5 months since we first got this set. So that was right before Christmas, basically. And we have painted 470 square inches. That includes the one you're watching right now on the screen. And we have painted a time total of 7 hours, 33 minutes, and 36 seconds. So even with all those videos that we've used this paint in, we've only done 470 square inches and 7.5 hours of painting with it. So I guess no wonder we haven't used a whole lot up. I'm pulling it over here to me right now, and we do have some pretty big gaps now. What do you call them? Not really gaps, dips in some of the paint pans, particularly the dark brown and the black. and the white, which kind of surprised me. I figured the first to go would be my yellows. And yes, my light yellow does have a pretty big dip in it as well. And I'll show these to you in the next video, so you'll be able to see these in person. I'm just chatting with you about it while you're watching this video here. Anyway, the white, that totally surprised me. I'm like, I never thought I would use white watercolor, but when I did that portrait of the lady with the glitter makeup, I had to use a lot of white to get her skin tone, the color that I really wanted. And then I used white in the painting right after that too, which really surprised me. So I think that in a couple of paintings, just having a little bit more of a pastel-like color is pretty useful. And then the brown and the black just to get some colors deeper, darker. So kind of interesting the way the colors are turning out here. I do have a big dip in the purple too. So I don't know. I'm finding this experiment pretty fascinating. I hope you guys are too. Back to this little painting. One thing I wanted to do in this painting versus the other one was make sure that I got my shadows a little bit deeper and darker. And I did succeed in getting my shadows darker. But I think, well, I don't know. I wonder if maybe I could take them even darker. So I'm going to play with that in some of these other reference photos that I'll show you near the end of this video. But you can see I'm just kind of going over and over and over those shadows, kind of like assessing, is that dark enough? And then sometimes my petal was a little bit too waterlogged. So I did go ahead and let it dry a little bit, and I had to add some color on again because, you know, water dilutes your color. So you have to make sure you're putting your paint on at the right time. Anyway, I'm going to leave you to a little bit of music while I finish this up, and I will talk to you again very shortly. It doesn't take long. Yay! All right, here's the second attempt, and I absolutely love the background this time. So I do like the dry paper. I intentionally put wet paint on it to make these blooms, so maybe they look like other flowers randomly back there. I do love that. So here's the first one, and I'll put them up on the screen for you in just a second side by side. Smaller, but the background is a lot more faded out. It is really pretty bokeh. Is that how you say that? But I like this one. I just like those bold, bright colors. One thing is on my reference photo, let me show that to you. On my reference photo, there is not a lot of white showing through any of the petals. And so I think that's a little bit tricky. I think I would like some white showing through. So I added my own little white sections. I don't know if the camera's really showing this accurately, but it's pretty light here, here, and there, just to make it have a little bit more interest. I did that. So I actually like them both. I like the cone part of this one better than this one. This one actually looks a little more like the reference photo, but I like this one better. Go figure. I don't know. What do you guys think? Here they are side by side. Tell me what you guys think. I had really a lot of fun doing this. Probably barely used any paint again, so I will weigh it later. I have to go. But this was fun, and I have printed out all the other reference photos of the other flowers that I want to do here. So those will be fun to try as well. This one especially because the light is shining through the petals like that and the deep shadows there. Oh, just gorgeous. And plus trying to catch the light up on these I think will be really fun. So we have that to look forward to. And all of that was spurred on by the Yellow Flower Art Challenge, huh? Go figure. That's it for today. Have a great weekend, and I will see you guys in the video on Tuesday. Bye for now. And yep, I've been playing over here, but it's not done yet. Hey, come back. And then, there is no end then. Oh, you guys see these little cuties? Look at that. So cute. Hello, Miss Daisy. I love you.